Aloha to the warriors out there. Roll to 45, day 21. Uh, Today is a good day to talk about some of the things that I think um, people find hard talking about. So we'll dig into um, being childless and the journey of that kuleana. Um, and let me just first say, like, not everybody chooses to be childless. I think um, I look at it this way. Everybody has a kuleana. Everybody's calling is different. Um, if you choose to not have children, that's great, you know. But if you didn't choose to not have children and you are unable to have children, um, there's other ways in which we can tackle that issue. Um, there's so many people out there that are having children, and that's a great thing because I look at how we build the future in those young minds and souls. But not all of us are fortunate enough to bear children, and therefore, there's opportunities to do other things to be a part of motherhood and fatherhood. Um, there's foster care, there's adoption, and in the old style practice, there's hanai, right? And hanai doesn't necessarily mean like you can just take on a child that is not of your own blood or DNA, and you're gonna raise them. Like hanai is a whole set of rules that comes with this responsibility, this kuleana of hanai. And so some of us don't have the opportunity to become mothers to our own biological children, but we still have kuleana out there. And I want to reach out to those who have felt like their biological clock has come and gone and might be contemplating on like I shoulda coulda woulda. um, I'm not gonna take away from that, like, you know, feel all the feels that comes with that, but at the same time, like, we do still have a place in this world to be the aunties, to be the aunties to these children that might need that extra adult in their life. And I often talk about the village, right? The village is really what helps people raise each other's children. The village is still helping to raise adults. You know, the village doesn't ever go away, and we come from communities that have kuleana in that space, right? We come from indigenous ancestral ties that go full circle on how not all of our mothers have had their own children. Um, and I say this because recently I was like, you know, I'm going to be 45. I don't have any of I couldn't have children. I found out really early in my 20s that this was not going to happen for me. And I think there's a part of me at that early age that was in denial, saying, nah, I mean, I've got time, right? I got time, I can, you know, but learning through my OB that this was not going to be an option for me for very long. I came to terms, I think, in my 30s that it's okay to be the auntie. It's okay to be the pseudo mom sometimes, because sometimes that kuleana is also very heavy. And sometimes we're the ones that have to step in for the parents that cannot step up for their children. And that's not a bad thing. I think sometimes we don't get as much credit as we should. And not to toot my own horn or anything. Like sometimes it's just that we often get looked at as being hypercritical of other people's children. And I'll be the first to admit, I'm not trying to be critical. I'm trying to help. And sometimes it comes with tough love. And sometimes not just the tough love on the children, it's tough love on the parents. Like, I can love you from a distance. I don't always have to agree with you, but I can promise to at least put my best effort forward to help Hapai, help Hanai, these young souls, because they belong to us. Especially if you're related to me. Especially if you're related to me. Because it did. Because I had a village around me. I had a village that raised me. And so why would I not be a part of the village of my own family? And I know sometimes I get into, I'm pretty sure and this is just my assumption, that I've been seen as very critical of these young kids and the capabilities and what they should or shouldn't be doing. And I'll be the first to say, like, it's never really my intention. My intention is to make sure that they're loved, that they know they're loved, and that we don't all have the answers. Any one person does not have all end all be all. We don't. And to think that we do, we're setting ourselves up for failure, because when we hit the ground running and we think we could do it all, and it's like, no, I can take care of my kids, I can take care of my kids, which is great. Kuleana and Naden is also very important. But the reality is, you can't do it all. You have the help, and if we're there to help, if the aunties that cannot have children is there to help, we're not trying to be critical. We really, truly, sometimes are just trying to help, and sometimes that's the only way we know how to help. But like I said, like, not all of us choose to not have children. Some of us choose, but not all the time do we choose that road for ourselves. But those who step up to the plate, I honor you, you know, because you didn't have to. You could have been off living your life as a single person, you know, or someone who doesn't have any responsibilities to a young life, and being able to, and raising them, you know. We didn't have to sometimes step into that role, but we do, and we do it because out of aloha, out of love. But in my 30s, you know, I thought, like, wow, like, it's gonna come to the end of my 30s where I realized, like, yeah, it's not happening. And I'd be dishonest if I said it didn't cross my mind a few times on how much it hurts. Uh, how much not being able to have your own children, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, what ifs, you know, like all of that, all of those emotions. And I realize now that I'm in my 40s, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay with just being the auntie. I'm okay with the one that they come to when they cannot go to their parents. I'm okay with telling them sometimes the hard truth, even though they don't want to hear it because they heard it already from their parents. I'm okay with being able to say, I love you, but you also got to know that all of us around here, including your parents, is still part of that village and still part of responsible for raising you. I'm okay with that. And I give credit to a lot of those auntie mamas out there, mama daddies who are trying to figure it out, you know, who are raising our kids and trying to give them a space for their own betterment, a space for them to grow, a space for them to be loved, a space for them to figure out who they are. I commend all of you in doing that. It's not an easy job, but at the same time, like, to all the parents out there, we're not trying to take over your job. We're just trying to help and support, and often step in to do the things that it's hard for you to do. Our relationship with your children has nothing to do with us wanting to take over. At least for me, it's not me wanting to replace a parent. It's me watching this parent struggle and knowing that it's not easy. And maybe me being there is to help with the process of making it a little bit less hard. I'm not saying we're going to make it easy, but maybe cushioning the burden of that weight a little bit, just a little bit. So to all of you guys out there who are stepping in to be the pseudo parent, mahalo for doing that. And to all of you parents out there who are struggling, sometimes there's some of us out here just really wanting to help because we see you struggling, and we're trying to show up for you while also showing up for your children. So yes, not being able to have your own children, it's not easy. But I've come to a pace in my life where I'm going, it's okay. I have bigger kuleana to fill. And I don't, at this point in my life, I don't mind being the auntie that is supportive wherever I can and however I can. That's all for tonight. Please have a good one. Always keep Allah in your heart. And when you have Allah in your heart, you're more allowed to share with the world. And I truly and honestly believe that Allah is going to save the world 1% at a time. So please take Allah with you wherever you go. And never forget to have Allah in your heart. Ahui ho.